What do we have here? We are looking at Thousand Week Reich, a realistic Axis victory time. The year is 1952. While the specter of domination stands over nightmarish Europe, the Western powers led by the rising United States and the battered but not beaten United Kingdom rise to the challenge, the wavering German superpower. Since its victory at Dunkirk and the long and costly war against the Soviet Union, Germany's cruel and nightmarish rule over Europe seems outwardly secure, but as Hitler grows old and ill, instability and rebellion threaten to shake this new order apart. Looks like the Allies gave up in Dunkirk and then the Russians beat Russia in a very costly war. That looks like to be the story here. That's actually a lot of focus trees, man. So America is still the same. The UK kind of survived World War II, but not so easily. France is under... It's an autocratic regime, probably under... They have to pay war reparations. This is a really realistic way to look at this, in my opinion. Germany, under the NSDAP, they have two military movements. Very, very big country. Finland won a lot. We have the Reichskommissariate. There's probably very bad stuff happening there. The Soviet Union still around a little bit, but they got really destroyed. And here we have a China that has never been, that beat the Japanese, and Mao never took over. So we have the autocracy under Chiang Kai-shek. And then Japan occupied Japan. I get the Philippine flag. What? Japan lost, Germany won. Yo, can you turn Japan back into an empire? A really destroyed Japan that's really fucked and bring that back? Interests me. Looks like Japan got it, huh? The fallen sun. Japan is a defeated nation, still recovering from long years of fighting in China, the Pacific, and against the United States. Its former colonies in Formosa, Korea, Sakhalin, and the many islands dotting the Pacific were all but lost and torn from our hands. Japan's situation was dire at the end of the war. Japan was prepared to fight till their last drop of blood to defend the home island. But then the Americans dropped an atomic bomb, followed by 3 more. That's like double the anime in 2021.
This is getting out of hand. Now there are 2 of them.
Japan would eventually unconditionally surrender on the US aboard the USS Iowa, signing a peace that greatly humiliated Japan. In the end, the US stood victorious over Japan and has been occupying Japan for over 7 years. Spilled water will not return to the tree. Japan must move on. Wow, we're still destroyed. Oh, that's cool. Okay, first of all, UI is great. I love this. Basic HOI4, you don't fuck with my brain. Let's let the game talk and not the UI. So we have a basic HOI4 thingy here. Established democracy. Economy laws are a bit different. This is still basic. And then the basic stuff. At the moment, we are the Gyuto Liberal Party under Yoshida Shigeru. Total military restrictions. We are heavily fucked in the military. I can't build a mill at all. Bitter defeat. Minus 2%. Left-wing aggregation. Communism is rising in this country. Occupation authority. I can't build anything really. Except civs. PP gain fucked. We're occupied. Supply issues. The Japanese logistics system was greatly damaged by the war. And still many years later, Japan still hasn't yet recovered. Big debuff. Weekly stability -1. And the US-Japanese investments, even though the US dropped 4 nukes on us, at least they're protecting us a bit. And the SAOCAS stands for Supreme American Occupation Committee, assistance sector, and has the role of assisting rebuilding and developing the Japanese assets during the occupation. I'm in the Toronto Accord, which is the Allies. You have an agency, which I'm not allowed to do, because I'm a puppet. Construction is fuck. Let's push the civs up, obviously. We still have to recover from 4 nukes. Research. Still very basic, but still changed. I love it. Yes, you have a bunch of symbols, but nothing fucking chemical, some extra stuff. I love it. So, nuclear and advanced weaponry. Nukes? G-Series. Is that like an Indian tutorial channel? This is about chemical stuff. Really interesting. And here we have biological warfare. The war support goes down, but you get like cool bonuses, like 5% research. Oh my god. You literally make biological agents. We're gonna make Corona, man. You guys know me, technocracy. I would like to rush this. The 5% research. So we're doing Biological Weapons Institution. Civilian industry. More repair, very important, obviously. Construction 1 seems ultra important here. Countrywide improvements, more repair speed. And I don't know if I need factory output. I'd rather have mechanical computer systems. Only 1% speed, I love that, very balanced. So this one is all about civs and a changed nation. The left side is
name of our baby.
I'm doing deals, and then at the end I get the Treaty of Freedom, which probably means that America leaves me. Yeah. We're gonna start with international aid, free civs. In TBR, the nation assigned a GDP, a measure of economic size, which is based on a formula accounting for country civilian and military factories and resources. What is that, EU4? I like this, because it's easy to understand. It's just a number that shows how strong you are.
Turkey have no focus 3. What is this mad, baby?
Gulag revolts in Soviet Siberia. The death of Beria. Oh, Beria just died after the Gulags had problems. The May Day of 1952 started with a general strike. Students and workers marched on the streets of Tokyo and other major cities, demanding the withdrawal of foreign influence from Japan and declaring that the Japanese government is a puppet of the West. Riot police were sent to control the crowds, but the conflict between protesters and officers turned violent after reports of gunshots in downtown Tokyo. Bullets repel these leftists. The revolution succeeds. I decide against it, sorry. I want to be empire. The bloodbath happened. We just shot all these commies, man. Discovery of widespread corruption in Japan that boosts fascism. Is that the way I want? A group of conservative politicians and legislative members of the Japanese government, co-sponsored by the Ministry of Justice, has proposed a law to allow police intervention during times of crisis in Japan, listing possible crises such as unprovoked rebellions, foreign invasions, unlawful coup attempts, rapid deterioration of stability, etc., etc. We have to pass for emperor? The US soldiers are just traveling the fucking country, fucking all women, ridiculous. So the second part of industry is very, very far off. I'm not taking that stuff. But let's get some resources, because I read that resources give you a higher GDP. My goal will be to get one of the top GDPs in the world. China denounces Vietnam. Ridiculous. China scum. Dude, Germania has 60% bonus because it's a metropolis. This is a sick picture. It actually has like real-life buildings that Hitler was planning. Okay, let's not waste time on repairing dumb shit. It's time for the great build-up program of this amazing nation called Japan. This is TNO without all the dumb shit. Love it. Make Japan great again and build a seawall to keep the Koreans out. A manned German spaceflight. Fucking, Jeffhard Bezosstein. The US criticizes Chinese invasion. Oh, China's invading Vietnam? A Japanese Vietnamese puppet is fighting Ho Chi Minh. This is the Vietnam War in a way. America's doing nothing. They're not intervening. The stability in Asia is not looking good. We need the relief scheme. The UN Vietnam resolution fails. Oh, good job, United Nations. What is this, real life? A country in this world actually needs you, like Myanmar? And the UN is like, can't do shit, sorry. Decryption? Obviously more computers. Computers. We have air doctrines, we have air. We have jets. Oh, so cool. Combined operations is a focus on land-air interactions. I like that. 30% cast damage. You already got me, dude. Soft attack. Bunch of motorized and mechanized. Then you get big air. This might be broken. I already see a brokenness in the mod. 30% cast damage. 10% cast damage and another 15. If you have green air in this mod and cast, you're gonna completely destroy. Another 15 here. Aye. Oh, I'm taking that. Oh, this is a cast build. Jesus Lord, is that a cast build. Finally, a changed nation. Japan is a changed nation. Instead of our imperialist roots, we must not show ourselves as a force of peacefulness in Asia. And we did a changed nation. Let's go to the next one. Under the boot. We are still under occupation of the America and her allies. We're even speaking like Japanese. We need to have a discussion with them on the future of Japan. -10 stability, acknowledging the American authorities' event fires. Under the American boot, the Japanese government had to take actions in getting a shot for nationhood by reaching out to America and ignoring past conflicts and pardoning any crime committed by US soldiers on Japanese soil. This might displease the citizens, but it's a step. Plus 50 opinion with America, because I stood up for America. Convince the community. I lose claims on all of Sakhalin. I'm giving away my clowns on Sakhalin, so USA thinks I actually mean it. So we're on a path here that the US lets us go free, even though we don't mean it. Here we go. Human experiments. What? A famous German spy called Tommy K is at the moment in Japan And he showed us footage of a church in Japan. What? He's in a church and then he saw this symbol yesterday. What's going on here, Japan? What are you planning to do? Human experiments. Hey, America! Sending us guns. Thank you, Arthur. Arthur giving a little present here to Japan. You're not gonna regret that, Douglas. We love Douglas MacArthur in Japan. Fuck him. Let's convince Arthur that we really want to be a nice nation. Make promises. I cannot join factions. I lose war support, but I gain stability. We're talking with the Americans. Oh! Oh! Today, the most powerful man in the world and the man who has defined the last 30 years of history, the Führer Adolf Hitler, has perished. Don't say F! Don't say F! You're gonna get banned! No, 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 no! This month was a turbulent month for Hitler, suffering 2 strokes and having multiple heart attacks. Maybe he became a streamer. In memory of Germany's fallen Führer Adolf Hitler, Germany witnesses the biggest public event in its entire history. Started with a military parade performed by the elite SS Panzergrenadier, followed by 4 hours long orchestra. Oh, come on, 4 hours, man? This event quickly became a television banger, with the voice of Joseph Goebbels echoing throughout the world in the form of his patriotic speech. What a massive waste of resources. Fuck the Germans. Oh, Moscow Red Army. The Red Army has risen in Moscow. That is a cool storyline, man. The Führer died, and now all the Russians are rising up against Germany. Russian Battle Royale. Kinda, right? It's a Battle Royale. As the Eastern Tribunal concluded, we must now ratify the decisions by acknowledging our crimes. I have to appease China, so we have to write a paper. The things we do to please the West. Himmler coup. Oh! He took it over! Oh, big civil war. This is right, TNO. Schutzstaffel Ordensstaat under Himmler. Erich von Manstein probably is the Wehrstaat, kind of the Wehrmacht. And we have the Greater German Reich under Hermann Göring. This is very TNO-ish. Combined operations into army interoperability. The secret army is being built in Japan. The Americans, they have occupied our cities. But in the land side, in the jungle, in the forest, the Japanese are preparing. Pressured by the Toronto Accord and China. I'm pressured by China? Japan was forced to accept the results of the Far East Tribunal, taking full responsibility for the crimes and accepting Japanese guilt. And as a gesture to convince China to allow more autonomy to Japan, the Japanese government struck the deal to shut down Imperial Shrine of Yasukuni for the greater good of Japan. Stability plus, war support down. Everybody in the United Nations likes me. Our occupiers have agreed to grant us our independence back, eventually with the condition of allowing them to maintain a few military bases. Uprising, 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 uprising. What is this game? A fucking 15-year-old's pants, dude? More uprisings than me on a day. The British deal. Making a deal with the British. Oh my god. We're being really humiliated here. Isn't this kind of what happened to Germany after World War I? You get fully humiliated and then the public is voting for really bad leaders like Hitler. Looks like Himmler's winning, huh? That's not good. Imagine Himmler leading a country, man. That must be hell itself. I'm doing human experiments very soon. We can only understand the true potential of our biological weapons if we test them on humans. Why do I see zombies coming soon? Himmler just got destroyed by the Benelux. I'm actually gonna rush construction too. The bonuses are just too heavy. Civ building, info building. Formal lends. By formally lending this island to the Americans, we'll secure their support. I lose a complete core on Iwo Jima and Okinawa. We are truly getting humiliated to death, man. Dude, you know what? Fuck building US weapons, man. We build our own shit, man. We're doing fighters into CAS, which means I don't have military. I even get more ground support. This looks a little bit broken. When I did everything correctly, I will have the strongest cast you will have ever seen in HOI4. The death of Himmler. Himmler just fucking died, man. The Dutch helped Greater German Reich and now they're getting fucked for it. The time has come. After months of back and forth, Japanese delegates shall now board the plane towards Hawaii to forge a new plan from the ashes. The Treaty of Honolulu. I lose occupation authority. I leave the Toronto Accord. I'm not a puppet anymore. And the second phase of the Japanese tree begins. After years of occupation, the desire for Japanese freedom has finally been heard. After the administration's effort in appeasing the Americans, combined with the growing fear of Chinese expansionism in the Pacific, the United States of America has allowed the negotiations of restoring full Japanese sovereignty. I have the normal Japanese flag. The state of Japan. Yes. Yes, dude. So, you do nation building. Nation building, the imperial debate. And then, The national prop, the winds of change. Constitutional monarchy, emperor takes over. And if that happens, that means victory for the Imperial Restoration. The paternal autocrat party will now be called Yamato Dynasty. Hirohito becomes leader of the party. Destroy the radicals, the days of the empire, the sun rises once more. Alone with pride, the greatness of Japan, begin rearming. What I don't see right now is focuses that lead to certain wars. You don't get wars as Japan. Okay. In this mod, Japan doesn't have that. You have to do it yourself. War goals can only be gained in focuses, events, and decisions in this game. If your faction goes to war, you go to war. You can always use console. And even if you don't go to war, I just want to enjoy, see what happens, enjoy the story, see where it goes, bring the emperor back. I have to do nation building first, and then have the first election. Being the figurehead during Japan's invasion of Asia, Emperor Hirohito has become a controversial figurehead in the international community. Despite that, major foreign influencers have secretly agreed on Japan's plan to utilize the constitutional loophole to provide legal status for the Imperials, with one condition. Hirohito must abdicate and allow Takahito, Hirohito's younger brother, to usurp the title of Japan's head of state. While this might be seen as unfavorable, Takahito promises that the throne will return to Hirohito's line of succession upon his death. However, if Hirohito refuses this offer, he will simply stay as the powerless, nameless figure of Japan. He will stay. Can you make a spy agency now that you're free? I can. It takes 10 shifts though. What the fuck? And the post-occupation election. Now of the errors of the occupiers dealt with, one way or another, it is time for the seedling of Japanese democracy to truly blossom. We're gonna have our first free elections. And boy oh boy, is there gonna be a big fucking surprise in this election. After the dust has settled in Japan, the Japanese elections have been resumed. Politicians are now launching their campaigns, blah blah blah. Who's gonna win? Rumors of election fraud. Informed by special departments of the National Police, reports claim a possible Social Democrat Marxist coalition might form if the Social Democrats ever win the election. While this might be viewed as a normal election technique, an additional detail stated the Social Democratic Party might be committing elections fraud. Fuck these communists, we're gonna get them. Japanese democracy tested. The stability law has been declared in effect by the government. Multiple divisions of the National Police, supported by specialized teams, secure key locations within all major cities of Japan. The invited coup was conducted in an orderly manner, and after hours, the entirety of Tokyo was under National Police control. The government is now under National Police command. This was necessary. I complete the police coup, I become a paternal autocrat. Kaizo, he's like, ah, got you, bitch. Gotcha! Who's that? The NPA, the National Police Association. Imperial Restoration. Japan, unlike many countries, was not founded simply by a collection of tribes settling down. No, the mystical founder of Japan and first emperor was no less than the great-grandson of a goddess, and forever, since that mythic founding, his descendants have been the heart and soul of the nation. Misfortune befell the nation only when foreign devils usurped this, forcing the emperor to renounce his all-apparent godhood and incurring the wrath of the gods above. Yet, the gods are truly merciful, and at last have provided us with the boon of restoring this cosmic order. I will be known as the Yamato Dynasty. Hirohito becomes leader of the country. Gentlemen, I think we have a secret agent from China. His codename is Bruce. I think he's very good at martial arts. He's gonna serve us very well. Is that a double agent from China? I really don't know. Something's weird, man. China withdraws from Vietnam. Vietnam won! The Viet Cong actually beat China. That is so cool. Oh, USA is invading Germany? Oh, yeah. You just announced the return of Imperial Japan and Nazi Germany dies. Following the police coup, the Japanese government has announced the restoration of the Japanese throne legal status, restoring the imperial authority of Japan. While this restoration is wearing a hat does not mean a course for aggressive expansion, the restoration of imperial authority symbolizes the return of traditionalist Japan, fueled by the Japanese people's hatred towards occupation. I'm destroying radical fascists, and I lose the left-wing agitation. So the emperor's taking care of it. Let's decrypt the Chinese. We can't trust them. They're probably telling us they have 0 zombie cases, but actually they have a lot. Russian movement capitulated. Berikuikian Okinawa. What? The state of Ryukyu has been declared. Motherfucker.
Shoboyu Yara. He is a traitor.
He is not our nakama. Maybe I gotta send Bruce to Beijing. Bruce is checking out what's going on in Beijing. I still don't really trust this guy. He doesn't really speak Japanese. You always hear him scream, "Whoa!" Maybe he'll become a famous actor one day. He looks like one. Yeah, and then some random director from the US, let's call him Quentin, is gonna make a movie about him where he looks like a complete asshole. And then he gets sued over that by his family. A century ago, Japan was a backward feudal nation. Half a century ago, Japan stood victorious over the Russian Bear. 20 years ago, we almost burned the Pacific to cinders. Yeah, what happened then? The history of our empire shone through all its, however, brief history, with utter and perfect radiance. No empire in modern history except the Germans could hope to rival us in sheer awe and swift rise. Yet, unlike the Germans, our claim to greatness was denied. Let's get it back. Oh, there's the D-Day. So the Nazis died quick in this game? I guess. I like how Italy is doing nothing the whole time. Italy is just, yeah, man, peace. I think Mussolini is soon gonna make a band called the Beatles, and he's just gonna spread the peace, bro. Mobilize the Imperial Guard. Let's do it step by step. Let's get the Guard and stop the US investments. I can't believe I lost my GDP to Italy and India. Or even Germany's fucked now. France has more GDP than the Nazis. China's getting very strong, which makes a lot of sense historically, right? Paris just got nuked? Wait, really? Nuclear attacked city. Completely fucked. You cannot literally go there anymore. Holy shit, why would you nuke Paris? Hey, we're the Americans, we want to save Europe. French people don't mind us. BAM! Sacre bleu. I don't think the French are gonna like the Americans so much in the future. Protection movement. Western oppression has to stop. Japan stands on its own. And the T-virus is still being worked on. Germania has fallen. The end is here. And Japan knows he's never gonna beat the UN. They're way too strong. The sun rises once more. The peace, stability, war support. But nothing leads to war. That is so awkward, man. Why would the dev think let's not make this go to war? The Hirohito German high. Okay, what's gonna happen now? There has to be like a big event. Then the Nazis, Hitler died, and very realistic even, I think. I think this is really realistic. Hitler died, everything falls apart, America fucks everyone up. The sun rises once more, alone with pride. This currently has no effect, good job, nice. Free France has returned. Free France of the Charles de Gaulle, with full borders, has returned. It joins the UN. Kingdom of Denmark became free. Sponsored regime under the US. This is all very realistic, man. I really like this mod. Germany surrenders. The last tattered remains of the once mighty Greater German Reich have surrendered. With its collapse, the full horrifying extent of its reign of terror across Europe has become apparent. Tens of millions have been killed and tens of millions more enslaved. Deep scars have been created across Europe. Shocking evil was committed on a scale not before seen in history. At last, with the total destruction of the Reich that was marched towards insanity by the scourge of Nazism, it seems the era of death, destruction, and madness has gripped Europe over since the fall of Poland, and France is finally over. Officials of all the allied nations that struggle against Nazism have promised a new beginning in which peace, order, and freedom will be re-established in Europe. The Great European Refugee Crisis. It's a bit early. My main goal is kind of to raise my GDP. There you go. I beat Italy and I beat India. Oh, here it is. That's like a democratic Germany or something, right? Oh shit, here we go. Let me just, the greatness of Japan. No isolation. The German Confederate Union. No focus tree. And I guess this union now has to... What the fuck is this flag? They now have to make decisions what happens. The European Summit having organized territorial shifts. I like how they keep Austria. A liberation of formerly occupied nations has decided on Germany's new government, and the German Confederate Union has been founded. Consisting of an extremely loose confederation of many confederal states, the new nation will for the time being be under direct occupation, administered by the United Nations and occupied by an international occupation force of all members of the coalition. This new Germany will also for the time being be completely disarmed, and some nations have even begun deporting Germans from their territory back to Germany. Okay. Begin rearmament, but that leads to nothing. It's like whoever made this focus tree kind of stopped here. So I finished the Emperor tree. Nothing is happening. Well, we saw the game for the first time. We know how to play it now. We know what happened. Very sad Japan isn't doing anything. Especially, we just saw that picture. They're not even trying to work on Japan. Very, very sad. I think there's so much content here to be found, aka building up a storyline where Japan and China fight each other and they're influenced by foreigners. That will be interesting as hell. You also give the player no chance to get his PP back. I mean, do you do it here? Yeah, where's the PP back, man? Japan needs to be reworked. That's for sure. But hey, good mod, man. Hey, and I want to say openly to chat, every time you guys hear that this mod has been updated, tell me about it. I will always play the updates, man. You say just declared war on Italy. Okay, so Italy is not safe in this game. Makes sense historically. Mussolini shouldn't be left alone, right? Okay, well, that was Japan. I think I can call it here, man. Nothing's going on. They took Bruce Lee. Maybe he wanted to be taken.